Ziggy the Lost Zombie. Ziggy slowly opened his big yellow eyes and blinked at the soft purple mist drifting over the forest floor. He sat up behind a mossy rock and rubbed his forehead with a little groan. He said he definitely hadn't meant to fall asleep outside, and he certainly hadn't meant to end up in the middle of Whisper Woods. Glowing mushrooms shimmered around him like tiny lanterns. Ziggy looked left, then right, and said he must have wandered off in his sleep again. The trees seemed to whisper hello as fireflies drifted lazily through the air. Ziggy said he hoped the woods were in a good mood today. Ziggy wobbled to his feet and brushed moss off his purple hoodie. As he walked along the path, a faint humming drifted through the air. The humming rose and fell, almost like someone calling for help. Ziggy said he wasn't the bravest zombie ever. His knees wobbled and his mismatched sneakers squeaked, but he couldn't ignore someone who might need him. He took a deep breath and followed the glowing light deeper into the woods. The humming turned into soft crying. In a small clearing, Ziggy found a girl sitting alone beside a tree. She looked up, startled, when she saw him. Ziggy gave a tiny wave and said he hoped she wasn't scared. The girl said her name was Luna, and she had gotten separated from her family while collecting firewood. Ziggy said he understood the feeling of being lost. Luna sniffled and said she had never met a zombie before. Ziggy smiled and said she was doing great for a first-time zombie encounter. Ziggy and Luna walked together, using her lantern to light their way. The deeper they went, the stranger the forest became. Branches creaked and shifted whenever they turned their heads. Soft giggles floated from the leaves. Luna whispered that the woods felt alive. Ziggy nodded and said, "Whisper Woods like to test people." Pairs of glowing eyes blinked from the bushes. Luna asked if they should be worried. Ziggy said they only needed to worry if the eyes stopped giggling. Luna laughed nervously and said she preferred they kept giggling. After a while, the trees opened up to a tiny stone bridge over a sparkling blue stream. The stones were carved to look like giant bones, soft and cartoony. Luna asked if they were real. Ziggy burst out laughing and said zombies didn't decorate with actual bones. Luna said she couldn't argue with that. They crossed the bridge slowly, listening to the water whisper below. On the other side, the bushes rustled. Luna lifted her lantern nervously. Suddenly, dozens of small zombie kids popped up from behind rocks and trees. Some wore bright hoodies, some had silly haircuts, and all of them wore big, cheerful grins. Luna gasped, then laughed when one waved happily at her. Ziggy said these were his friends and cousins. Luna said they were adorable. One zombie kid puffed up proudly and said they practiced being friendly every single day. A zombie kid stepped forward and said Ziggy had wandered off in his sleep again. Ziggy blinked and said he didn't even know he sleepwalked. All the zombie kids giggled. Luna covered her mouth to hide her smile. She said she wasn't the lost one after all. Ziggy looked down at his mismatched sneakers and said, maybe someone should tie him to a tree before bed. Everyone laughed, and Ziggy quickly added that maybe not actually tied, maybe just gently reminded. The zombie children guided Luna along a glowing path toward the forest edge. The warm lights of her village flickered in the distance like tiny stars. Luna turned to Ziggy and thanked him for being brave even when he was wobbly. Ziggy grinned and said he was glad she wasn't scared of zombies anymore. Luna promised she would visit Whisper Woods again someday. Ziggy waved both arms excitedly and said she would always have friends waiting for her among the trees. For more spooky stories, don't forget to like and subscribe.